Imagine waking up hungry. Not the kind of hunger that disappears after breakfast, the kind that followed you yesterday, the day before, and the day before that. The berry bushes are empty. The river holds no fish. The animals that filled this valley just a week ago have vanished. No footprints, no sounds, nothing. Now ask yourself one question. What happens when the smartest creature on Earth has absolutely nothing left to eat? Did ancient humans simply wait? Did they abandon their homes? Did they fight each other for the last scraps of food? Or did they discover survival tricks that changed human history forever? Because archaeology reveals something surprising. Some of humanity's greatest inventions weren't created during times of abundance. They were born from starvation. And without those desperate moments, human civilization might never have existed. Modern supermarkets make food shortages feel almost impossible. If one store runs out, another is just a few minutes away. Even a failed harvest rarely means immediate starvation. Food travels across countries, sometimes across entire oceans. But for an ancient human, there was no backup plan. Every meal depended entirely on the land surrounding them. When nature stopped providing, everything changed, and nature could become unpredictable without warning. A harsh winter, a long drought, floods, wildfires, volcanic eruptions, or something much simpler. The animals simply moved somewhere else. Many of the giant herds Ice Age hunters depended upon were constantly migrating, missed the migration, and an entire community could suddenly find itself surrounded by empty land. Imagine spending days following tracks, only to discover they ended hundreds of miles away. The world hadn't become empty, the food had simply left. Now survival has become a race against time. Because the human body doesn't wait patiently. Within a day, energy begins to fall. Thinking becomes slower. Mistakes become more common. Within several days, muscles begin consuming themselves. Every step feels heavier. Every decision becomes harder. And yet, ancient humans faced this challenge again and again for hundreds of thousands of years. So how did they survive? The answer begins with something modern people almost never notice: knowledge. Most predators specialize. Lions hunt large animals. Koalas eat eucalyptus. Pandas survive almost entirely on bamboo. Humans are different. Humans can eat thousands of different foods: roots buried beneath frozen soil, nuts hidden inside hard shells, bird eggs, shellfish, seaweed, insects, mushrooms, honey, even tiny seeds invisible beneath grass. This wasn't luck. It was one of humanity's greatest survival advantages. When one food disappeared, another could replace it. Not because the environment changed, but because human curiosity never stopped searching. Archaeologists studying ancient grinding stones discovered microscopic plant remains from dozens of different species. Many weren't everyday foods. They were emergency foods. Plants ignored during good seasons, but remembered during desperate ones. Entire generations carried this knowledge inside their memories. Not books, not maps, stories. Children learned which roots could save a family, and which looked almost identical, but could kill within hours. One mistake could wipe out an entire camp, which meant every successful meal represented thousands of years of accumulated experience. But even knowledge wasn't always enough. Sometimes there simply wasn't enough food for everyone. So another strategy appeared: move. Humans became the greatest travelers Earth had ever seen. Not because they loved adventure, because hunger forced them forward. Groups walked hundreds of kilometers following rivers, animal migrations, or rumors passed between neighboring communities. Some journeys succeeded, others ended in tragedy. Yet each movement expanded human understanding of the landscape. Every valley explored, every mountain crossed, every coastline discovered, became another possible lifeline during the next famine. Scientists believe repeated food shortages helped push humans out of Africa, across Asia, into Europe, and eventually across frozen land bridges into the Americas. Hunger didn't just change where people lived, it changed where humans existed at all. But movement carried enormous risks. Leaving familiar territory meant entering someone else's, and not every meeting ended peacefully. So how did strangers avoid fighting over the same disappearing food. Surprisingly, evidence suggests they often shared. Stone tools made from rock found hundreds of kilometers away reveal something unexpected. Ancient communities traded food, materials, knowledge. Even before cities, the humans built networks. A struggling group might receive help today, knowing they would return the favor years later. Cooperation became another survival tool, perhaps the most powerful one ever invented. Because no individual knows everything, but a community remembers far more than one mind ever could. Still, one challenge remained. Even if food was found, it wouldn't last forever, unless someone learned how to preserve it. And that discovery quietly transformed human history. Smoke, sun, cold air. Ancient humans discovered that meat hanging. The above gentle smoke spoiled more slowly. Fish dried beneath the sun became lighter, easier to carry, and remained edible for weeks. Fat stored inside animal skins provided enormous amounts of energy during lean seasons. Nothing valuable was wasted. Bones became broth. Marrow became food. Organs rich in nutrients were often eaten first. Even animal hides eventually became clothing, shelter, or containers. To modernize, it may seem extreme. To ancient humans, it was efficient. Every successful hunt had to be fed tomorrow, not just today. Then something even more remarkable happened. Instead of chasing food endlessly, humans slowly began changing the world around them. They burned forests to encourage fresh grass. Fresh grass attracted grazing animals. Grazing animals attracted hunters. In some regions, wild seeds accidentally scattered near camps began growing the following season. Nobody intended to invent farming, but small observations repeated across thousands of years eventually led to one extraordinary realization. Food didn't always have to be found. Sometimes it could be encouraged. That single idea would eventually reshape the planet. Food shortages never disappeared. Even today, droughts, floods, war, and climate change still threatens harvests across the world. But ancient humans left behind something far more valuable than stored food. They left strategies: adapt, learn, share, explore, prepare before disaster arrives. Perhaps that's the greatest lesson hidden inside prehistoric hunger. The people who survived weren't always the strongest hunters. They weren't always the fastest. They were the ones willing to change before it was too late. Because when food suddenly disappeared, humanity discovered something even more important. Its greatest resource was never the food itself. It was the human mind.